Welcome. This is our fourth installment of Build-A-Bot. Every time we kind of up the ante a little bit. Instead of just kind of taking what we know and running with it, we make it ever more difficult, just for the challenge of it. My name's Greg, and if you haven't figured out by now, I've got this passion for STEAM learning, inspiring students in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Thank you for your time to come here and enjoy this experiment with us. To be clear, even though there's a lot of robots here and we have actors and actresses on stage, it's really about interdisciplinary engagement in terms of design, in terms of fabrication, in terms of communication with one another, collaboration, and dealing with personalities that are very different from your own little sphere of realities. This, in addition to that, is about kind of grit. We led off the class earlier in the week about being faced with deadlines and just, digging deep to actually get it to work. The class technically ran from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock every day. I don't think anybody left on any of the days before 5, and I think a number of them were still here at 9 o'clock last night. I would say that in addition to that, it's about being able to speak publicly and kind of speak with authority, so the voice part of things. For the engineers, I felt it was important for them to develop a sense of the aesthetic, because engineers like to just make stuff work. And then when it works, we're kind of done with it, but it's typically kind of ugly. So this is about really introducing the aesthetic into it for engineers. For the computer science students in here, it was about the opportunity to work with their hands and make stuff. And for the art students, it was about introducing them to rapid prototyping and other advanced technologies like 3D printing and laser cutting. Let's see. So some may, after you see this, think that this is a new way of teaching, and I just kind of laugh and say, I think this is pretty much the normal way, the way humans have learned over time. I was going to get to that part about the robots may or may not work. Keep in mind that this was a 1-week class. Thanks, buddy. We'll figure that out. I do have another one in my office, but it's probably too late for that. So we had really more like 4 days to pull this off. I want to thank all of the students. I think every one of them will tell you that they've never worked so hard or so many hours for 1 credit. And hopefully if you, when you have a chance after the performance and talk to them, you'll say that they also have never had so much fun working on a 4-credit class. I want to extend a big thank you to all of the extra teachers and faculty and industry that have helped kind of pull this off. I'll go ahead and start down my list. So Mark, who is actively engaged in fixing a dead robot right now. Mark is our computer science guru. Reg Holmes is put in charge of power, making sure that all the electrons are where they're supposed to be. We've got battery and power systems in both the robot base, the animation, so all the way around. Lots of power problems and challenges. Eric Thomas, who are you?
Forget about the room.
Eric, the man in the hat. Eric is my tech student, worker, to throw anything at the guy. He kind of pulls all the glue together. We have Cece Cutsford and her colleague, Angie, who pulled together all of the graphic animation that you'll see on the robots here. Dan Hayes, who I don't think is here, but Dan was kind enough to go, hey, the little theater is kind of in disrepair. We'll let you use the big stage, and got volunteers for us. So speaking of volunteers, I think Nate is our technician for lighting. and we may have more stage volunteers. Again, these are all people who just work tirelessly over the week to pull this off. Chelsea is here doing the filming of this, so for all posterity, including, hey, the robot looks like it lives, cool. Dietrich Steinmetz, our division dean, who without his support of, yes, go ahead, do this, none of this would happen. Thank you, Dietrich. Does Kathleen make it by any chance? Harriman, our admin, who was so gracious as to be printing off the daily rosters and running them down to our students to kind of keep things going real time. So she's not there. And then I would really like to extend a huge thank you to our two playwrights and directors, Wayne Waterman and his wife Devin Dumlin. So they spent hours and days and weeks over the summer writing this play, specifically for the robots, for the students, and for you to enjoy. It's a mashup of the very old and the very new, and she'll talk perhaps a little bit about that. Let's see. Anything else? We'll introduce you to the students after the performance, and you can ask them questions, and if you had a hankering to do so, care to drive the robots around, feel free to do so. So with that, I'd like to introduce Devin, bring her up on stage and talk a little bit about the background of the play and what inspired her to make it the STEAM twist to it. Come on up.
Hello. I am Devin Van Dalen, and my husband Wayne Waterman is up there in the booth. Hi. So last year we participated, and the challenge to the students was to not only do everything that they've done with designing and integrating all of this material, but they were also tasked with writing the play, all in basically 4.5 days, because the last day is performance. So this time, thought maybe it would be good to have a full script already ready to go that the students could be presented with, so that they can really focus on using their techniques and not so much stressing about writing a play. So what my husband and I tried to do is we thought, well, what story can we kind of use that's already been written, that everybody knows or almost knows or thinks they know, that we could kind of take STEAM and put it in it. And most people know Alice in Wonderland. Most people have seen the Disney version or even the new version with Johnny Depp. The interesting thing is that almost every Alice in Wonderland steals a bunch of characters from the second book through the Looking Glass. But almost no one ever puts on just Through the Looking Glass. And then my husband said, what about Alice Through the Google Glass? And I thought, ding, a little light bulb came on over my head. I was like, it's perfect. It's a perfect opportunity for a bunch of different really interesting characters to be built, and acting opportunities, voice acting opportunities that you'll hear. So we sat down and started to write, and crunched, and it was a little difficult, but we're pretty proud of the content of what we've come up with, and I'm being amazed by what I'm seeing these guys have done with it, and so I'm just about as excited as you are to see what happens. As you know, in Alice in Wonderland, Alice meets the Red Queen and a pack of cards. And Through the Looking Glass, if you don't know, the theme of that is chess. She actually meets chess pieces, and in fact, Lewis Carroll designed, because he was a mathematician, Charles Dodgson, he was a mathematician, and he actually designed the entire book so that Alice's journey through each square of the chess game, she can start and win the game, start as a pawn and end in the 8th square as a queen in 11 moves. So it was kind of the book itself I would encourage you highly to read, because I find it more compelling than Alice in Wonderland itself, and the fact that it is actually, with a few exceptions, can be played as an actual chess game is I don't know, very novel. So anyway, I hope you enjoy what you see. Thank you so much, everybody that has worked on this. Thank you for putting it together.
Yeah, don't be too concerned about really following the plot very carefully, because it is kind of by design nonsensical, but you'll get the gist of it. And also kind of just a little heads up that most of these characters play, or most of the robots play multiple characters. So if you see their faces change or the lighting change, just note that that's a cue that they're now at different characters, because we only have 4 robots and 8 or 10 different characters in the play. So with that, I think I will turn things on, and you will get to see Alice and the crew.
Oh, Dinah. I've been playing chess for weeks against this person who calls themselves the Red Queen, and I've yet to beat her. Or maybe him. Dinah, what do you think my next move should be? Take a close look. Oh, Kitty, you're no help at all. I just have to figure this out myself. You've been pawned? What the heck does that mean?
It means you've been easily defeated, my dear. If you ever want to stop being a noob and use the technology at your fingertips for something other than Facebook and games, you've got to learn Steam.
Dinah, is that you?
No, my dear, it is me, the Red Queen. I'm the AI here.
AI?
Good heavens, you don't even know that term? Then you will need my guidance. You may call upon me by saying, "Okay, Your Majesty."
But I don't see you. I can hear you, but I don't see anybody.
I only wish I had such eyes, to be able to see nobody, and at this distance, too. Why, it's as much as I can do to see solid people by this light. Open your eyes a little wider.
Where me? Dinah, it looks so different. Almost the same, but not quite.
I told you, my dear, you must call upon me correctly if I am to function.
Oh, okay. Your Majesty?
Ah, Alice, nicely done. Now we may begin. You are obviously in need of a full walkthrough tutorial of Steam.
Well, I know what steam is. It's just a heat source and it's used to power locomotives.
Well done. But Steam is also an acronym. You know what an acronym is, don't you?
Oh yeah, an acronym is something that's out of its time and place.
Wrong. That would be an anachronism. An acronym is the first letter of several words describing a thing. In our case, STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Mathematics.
Well, I don't see what that has to do with me.
Oh, talk to the flowers, dear. They'll help you to understand.
Oh, but flowers don't talk.
We can when you know how to use technology.
Are you robots?
Heavens no. You must be a noob. Noob! She might be an open source, you know. Her code doesn't curl up very tight, and she is tidy, and she's not tidy and complete. Ooh, open source, open source!
Hey! If you little ones don't hold your tongue, I'm gonna pick your petals off.
That's right. The daisies are the worst of all. When they speak, they begin to twitter, and it's enough to make one wither to hear the way they go. Twitter, hashtag insult.
How is it that you can speak so well but only in insults?
Dip your fingers into the water of the vase, and you will see.
Oh, I see of you correctly, then you'll speak with me more civilly.
Ooh, maybe she's a black hat, a virus. We've let her through her firewall. Black hat, Trojan.
What?
RTFM.
What?
Read the manual.
Jabberhacky. Not some kind of word I've ever heard before. What a weird title for a chapter. Let's see. 'Twas Rootkit and the Zero Day.
Did DDoS a backdoor in the net. All vulnerable was the memory, and the SSOs revoke unset. Beware the black hat hacker, son, the worms that bite, the missing patch. Beware the Stuxnet, and shun the frumious botnet snatch. He took his Vorpal Wireshark, long time the malware foe he sought. So rested he by the security tree, and hacked a while in thought. And as an ASCII thought he paced, the black hat hacker, with spyware armed, came sniffing through the packet trace, encoded it for ARM. Avast, Kaspersky, McAfee, and through the Norton blade went snicker-snack. He left it decompiled, and with its code he went a-hacking back. And hast thou slain the black hat hacker? Come to my arms, my geekish girl. Oh, virus-free, I can't ping your IP. Come, let me teach you Perl. 'Twas Rootkit and the Zero Day did DDoS a backdoor in the net. All vulnerable was the memory, and the SSLs revoke unset.
Well, that made no sense. At least not to me.
If it was nonsense, then you'll need to know how this game is played. As I always say, begin at the beginning, go on until you reach the end, then stop. Therefore, you will start as the White Queen's pawn.
But
No buts! Start at 10, run until end, then stop. And you'll have to run quite fast if you're to catch the train.
train?
Yes, look out the window there. What do you see?
Oh, it looks like a chessboard, but the squares are all separated by brooks and hedges.
Quite correct. Now, if you look at it using your Google Glass, you'll see that the map of the squares are all labeled with their correct codes, and who you will meet in each.
Well, I do see, but it's all quite unbelievable.
Nonsense. Anything is believable and achievable if you can imagine it. Why, I can believe and achieve up to 6 things before breakfast. But you're just a pawn, which is why you don't yet understand. So pay close attention now. As a pawn, you begin in the 2nd square. That's where you'll catch the train. It will carry you through the 3rd square to the edge of the 4th. Mind you, try not to be too alarmed when it jumps the brook.
But I didn't think trains could jump.
Pay attention!
Oh, yes, Your Majesty.
The 4th square is a forest. Walk right in and you will no doubt meet the White Knight. Listen to his tale and you will learn a great lesson. He will show you the path to the next square, and then you'll be on your own. Keep going until you reach the 8th square. That is where, if you are studious and learn your lessons well, you will be crowned a queen, otherwise known as a white hat hacker.
White hat hacker? What's that?
All in good time. But there is no more time. There's the train now. Run as fast as you can, and I'll meet you in the 8th square.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All aboard who goes aboard. Station stop. Queen's Port.
Oh, whoa, this is a dense forest. But I don't see anybody. The Red Queen said there'd be a white knight for me to meet with who'd show me how to, where my path is. But, oh,
I am here, my lady.
what a curious figure. He does so look like a chess piece, but he has a large amount of odd items strung about his middle. Well, hello, good knight. I was told that you'd have some things to teach me to help me find my way.
Indeed. Walk with me a bit.
Would you tell me about these pieces that you have sprung about your person?
Why, they're my own inventions. I thought them up with a little bit of steam, created them from practically thin air.
But how?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, my dear. Firstly, do you understand the difference between pure science and applied science? And what about engineering and art?
I'm afraid I'm a bit lost. Wait.
And that's why I'm here to guide you. Let us rest a bit just here, and if you'll have a seat on that log, I will recite to you a most illuminating piece of verse, the name of which is called the Bosun Trail.
So, the name of the poem is Bosun Trail?
Oh no, that's just what the name is called. The name really is Print a Small Device.
So, I should have said, that is what it is called.
Of course not. That's quite another thing. The poem is called Print a Small Device, but that's only what it's called, you know?
Okay, well, I'm a bit confused, but maybe if you recite it to me, I'll understand.
Perhaps. The poem really is Quantum Butterflies, and the content is my own invention. I'll tell thee everything I can, there's little to relate. I saw a pure science man, measuring a calcium gate. Who are you, pure science man, I said, and how is it you live? And his answer trickled through my head like water through a sieve. He said he looked for quantum butterflies like Lorenz did in his dreams. He then began to theorize about atoms made of streams. I asked for grants, he said, from every science committee, and that's the way I get my bread, the amount I get, though a pity. But I was then thinking of a plan to 3D print a small device that spins around if you use a fan, and one that captures tame mice. So having no reply to give applied science has more cred, I cried, "More tell me, what good are you?" and thumped him on the head. His accents mild took up the tale, he said, "I found ways to find the trace of the Bosun Trail. You'd think they'd be amazed to nearly witness the universe begin. I've seen a gluon boil, yet 2 pence halfpenny is all the fin they gave me for my magnetic coil. But I was thinking of a way to blog without touching the keys. A pet heirloom will save the day. I've also video of bees. I took him well from side to side, his face was blue. Come tell me how you live, I cried, and what it is you do. I seek the secrets of the universe, the island in the mist, and though it might not fill the purse of the venture capitalist, that's the way, he gave a wink, by which I get my wealth, and very gladly I will drink your honor's noble health. I heard him then, for I had just completed my design to keep the Tillicum Bridge from rust by boiling it in wine. I thanked him much for telling me the way he got his wealth, but chiefly for his wish that he might drink my noble health.
That was a lovely poem. Thank you. Thank you.
And did it help you to understand?
Yeah, I think so. So, pure science measures the nature of the universe, whereas applied science makes a living.
Well said, young maid.
Now, will you explain to me these things you have hung about yourself?
Certainly. As you can see, I have, among other things, a beehive to keep bees in, a mouse trap to catch mice, and a spike anklets that fend off sharks as I travel. I have made all of these glorious art on my 3D printer using modeling software, a bit of heated plastic filament, and my own imagination.
But your beehive has no bees in it. I don't think mice would ever run up the back of a night, and there are no sharks in these woods. Why, your inventions are just useless widgets that serve no purpose.
Madam, I also have thimbles for ladies who prick their fingers whilst embroidering precision trims for bookcases that sit on uneven castle floors, and microporous membranes for biologists to use in their, yes, research science. So you see, working together is better than working apart, and wouldn't you call that a good night's work?
A good night's work, yes. Yes, I would.
We are at the edge of the square. This is where I bid you farewell. Take the thimble I've made as a reminder of what you've learned. Goodbye, and good luck.
Thank you, good night. Goodbye.
Alice to Queen's Fifth.
Well, I guess I just gotta jump this brook myself. Here it goes. Whew. Oh. Oh, what a lovely glade. Oh, what's this?
Horse and buggy, horse and buggy, horse and buggy.
Oh, hello. Am I addressing the White Queen?
Well, I suppose, if you call that a dressing, though my other maids usually put my shawl on me when they dress me.
Oh, sorry. Here.
Be careful, the pin is sharp.
There.
Thank you. Shall we walk?
Certainly, Your Majesty. So, what are you going to teach me about steam?
Steam? Well, why, all I can tell you about that is it's the thing that powers locomotives.
Well, but I'm talking about the acronym with science, technology.
Stop! I don't want to hear even a word of it. I'm quite the Luddite, my dear. These newfangled computers and technological gizmos have already gone too far. Soon all anyone will do is sit around and push buttons all day.
I hardly think that.
Our motive is ram tomorrow and ram yesterday, but never ram today. So now you see.
What's the matter?
In a few minutes, my brooch shall come undone, and when I try to pin it back on, I will prick my finger.
But why are you crying now when you haven't even been hurt yet?
Some say that being a technophobe is sort of living backwards, and they must be right, because I always cry out before an injury. But it's better than the consequences, I dare say.
Well, why don't you just use this thimble to protect your finger?
That's not made of metal. Where did you get that thimble?
Well, the White Knight made it with this 3D printer of heated plastic.
Then absolutely not. Why, to even think of my touching such an item. You must go now. I've nothing to teach you, no wish to learn anything from you, and there's no use you staying here to watch me prick my finger. Hurry along to the next square, through that gate in that hedge ahead. Visit the sheep in her rummage shop. I'm sure you'll have more in common with her. Good day.
Sheep running a shop. Well, I suppose that's not the craziest thing that I've experienced today. Oh. It's so dark in here. It's such a large room, it seems like. But... Oh, there we go. 1 egg, 25 cents. 1 teacup broken. Well, my Google glasses are labeling everything like they did with the chess map. This place is so large, I can't even make out the labels on the things on the far wall. This shop must be the rummage shop. Maybe it takes up the whole square.
What is it you'd like to buy?
Oh. Well, I don't know yet. I'd like to take a look around me first, if you don't mind.
You may look. You may look in front if you are, and on both sides if you like, but you can't look all around you unless you've got eyes in the back of your head. And as I can see that you haven't, I suggest you simply turn around and start looking at the first shelf in front of you.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh. Yeah. Things keep changing so fast around here and moving so quickly. I reach out for something and then it's just out of my grasp.
Well, of course, some things will always seem out of reach for a time, but it only means that you've something to strive towards. If you work hard enough and apply yourself, you'll eventually be able to keep up with the changes. But never mind that now. I've done enough wool gathering and must go work out how to develop it into some string theories. You must mind the shop and run the register while I do.
But I don't know how to do that.
It's quite easy. Can you do addition? What's 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1?
You lost me. Could you just...
Can't you do addition? Can you do subtraction? Take something from nothing, and what do you get?
Well, I don't think I can take something from nothing.
Can't do subtraction. It's Schrodinger's cat, alive or dead. My dear, you're obviously no master of mathematics, and I've no time to teach you. Can you at least tell me how much money you've got in your pocket?
Just $1, I'm afraid.
Then that will have to do. You may have the egg.
Look, the egg's just 25 cents.
Not the egg on the shelf, the egg on the counter. Pick it up and balance it on your head. Now wait a moment. Wait. You see? You're an egghead.
Honestly, this is no time for making jokes. Oh! Where'd it go? It's gone.
I told you, it's literally in your head. You now have all the knowledge of mathematics necessary to make it a very healthy start. And if you keep learning, it will serve you well. Try it.
E equals mc squared. Force equals mass times acceleration. And Schrodinger's cat is both alive and dead until we look in the box to find out. That's amazing. But how?
Surely you have figured it out by now, and that you're not exactly in your own world, and things work differently here. I believe you'll find that you've retained all, and that you've learned so far in this place. But you've yet further to go, and no time to lose. You are expected elsewhere. Please use the exit located directly behind you.
All right, it's just so amazing. I've learned so much so far. I'm so thankful, Miss Sheep. How could I ever thank you? Miss Sheep? Well, guess I'm on to my next lesson. Oh, it's a cleared forest. But there's nobody here to meet me. I wonder where I am. Oh. Okay, Your Majesty?
Beep, beep. Would you like me to tell you where you are, Alice? Beep.
Yes.
Beep. Okay, Alice, you are on the 6th square, where you will encounter Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Tweedle. What? Ah, ooh. Curiouser.
If you think we're a waxworks, you ought to pay, you know. And if you don't, then you should speak to us, not at us.
Well, I'm sorry, but I meant to say it was good day then.
Is it a good day? Looks like rain to me.
Well, what I mean is,
Well, you should say what you mean, and mean what you say. Oh. Backdoor, countrywise, exploit, know-how.
I don't understand.
Would you say I see what I eat? And is the same as I eat what I say?
No, certainly not.
And would you say that I breathe when I sleep? Or is the same as I sleep when I breathe?
No.
If that's true, then you have a lot to learn about the importance of choosing the right words when coding. Virus replication and strong passwords. Take a seat, and we'll recite a verse that you do well to remember if you are to become a queen, after all. The poem is The Sissop and the Criminal, and all queens know it by heart. Well, the Sissop and the Criminal were talking at a con. They hacked winner they thought they saw, an exploit they could pawn. If users were not in the way, we'd both still live with Mom. Take this guy here and that one there, just members of the herd. Do you suppose, the Sissop said, their password is password? I know it, wept the criminal, a crocodile tear. Oh, users, come and walk with us, the Sissop did beseech. It's that time that we mention our fee for the recent breach. The time has come, the Sissop said, to talk of many things. Like what this guy could do with what he gets from just a ping. And what you should believe, it's not a real Nigerian king. But wait a bit, the users cried, before you start to drone. We're about to post when we go out most, and when we're not at home. No hurry, said the criminal. The sysops only groaned. A firewall, the sysop said, is what we chiefly need. And two-step VPN besides are very good indeed. But if I can trick your users, we criminals can feed. But not us, said the users cried with righteous indignation. We know we're not the ones who cause virus replication. I weep for you, the sysop said, I deeply sympathize. The hacker showed we'd clean them out in just 2 million tries. Holding his pocket computer before the sysop's eyes. Oh, criminals, said the sysop, we've had a pleasant run, but you fell for my honeypot. Real users there were none. The criminal did not answer. White Hat had stopped his fun.
Again, I am so impressed by the sheer poetry of how STEAM.
You mean science and technology, engineering, art, and mathematics.
Yes, the poetry of how it all comes together to create this singularity.
It is nigh. Go then, face your final lesson, for it will be a challenge. Jump the hedge, take the leap, and become a white hat hacker for the betterment of us all.
Oh. Am I in the 7th square? Or are you just Tweedledum or D in a different guise?
I am no more and no less than myself, Humpty Dumpty. And indeed, you must face me before entering the final square.
Oh, how shall I face you? And you do have a face, but you're obviously an overgrown, fragile egg, rocking about on a rickety firewall, ready to fall at the slightest broach of your protocol.
Oh, Alice, you've learned much in your time in our place, but I sit on no ordinary firewall. 'Tis a firewall unbreachable, coated by masters, king and all his men. I am confident that... Egad, I'm cracked! I'm hacked!
I'll save you, Humpty Dumpty, I will. I can save you. There.
Thank you, Alice. Take your throne, a white hat hacker queen! Hooray for Queen Alice! Huzzah for Queen Alice!
Oh, Diana. Oh, it's been a long way. I'm so tired, I feel like I could just...
Wake, Alice, wake! The 8th square is your home, where you have now returned. The Red Queen yields. You have won the game.
Diana, did you hear that? I won! I actually won!
Yes, Alice, and you have learned your lessons well. Will you continue to seek more and more knowledge and put your steam power to use for the betterment of your kind?
I will! Your Majesty!
robots out of control. We have more students. Come on up, Heidi. Anybody else? Any other students?
You having fun over there?
Gary. Okay, cool.
The horses.
We have most. So what I thought I would ask each of you to do is kind of give us a little background as to what your major is and how it came to be that you entered this class and maybe one or two things that you got out of it. So start at that end and sweep across, and then you guys can ask questions as well.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Deanna Hart. I'm an advertising major, switching to PSU this fall, and I really enjoyed the format of the class and having it be this real big team experience. I think we learned more than anything from just like having a task and having the freedom and the resources to just go at it and learn whatever we wanted to out of it. It's awesome.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm a computer science major here at PSU right now. This class was a really great experience for me. It was challenging, really intensive. We had some pretty crazy deadlines to meet, but we mostly managed to pull it off, and I had a great time. Thanks.
I'm Brian Lane. I'm an EET, Biomed, and Datacom major. This was just kind of bored. I was only taking one class this summer, so I was like, why not? Fill my time a little bit. And you know, I learned I'm one of those people that if I have an idea, I don't like to change it. I just usually like to power through it and just make it work. But you can't really do that in this because if something doesn't work, you gotta just move on. So I guess that was something that I learned and worked on.
Well, I'm Nolan Adams. I'm actually still in high school. I did this because I heard from my mom, but I have a background in robotics, physics, mathematics, really, so that's all I got.
I'm Michael Custer. I started as trying to become a paramedic. Couldn't stand the sight of blood, switched to IT, and now I saw this program and I was like, sweet, I'd love to build a robot. And it's been a great team experience, and I would highly encourage doing it again.
My name's Maricela, and I am a math major. I joined this class because as someone who came into mathematics later in life after being very math-phobic, I think that the union of math and art and all of the other disciplines is excellent. So I was like, STEAM's awesome! I'm gonna take a STEAM robot building class, that's great. And we built this royal robot, as we like to call it, on our team. As you may have noticed, it has some fun features, mainly being that it shifts bodies. What did I learn from the class? Well, I learned how to scrounge materials and look for scissors. That was definitely a trick. Where are the scissors? I think there were only 2 pairs and we had to share them among all of us. And definitely I learned some things about working on a team. So, thank you so much.
I'm Morgan McCartney. I'm EET major. Building robots is awesome, so I figured why not? Had a lot of fun, learned how to run some of the equipment I'd never touched before, and it's going to help me moving forward.
My name is Heidi Silbach. I'm a CMET major, and I took this class because I went on a tour of the makerspace, and I had to be involved somehow. So I took this class and I made a vase. Well, I had a lot of help making the vase. But it was exciting, it was fun, and I really learned quite a bit.
And you were the flower model as well.
Oh yeah.
So that's her
I learned
face.
how to do that.
Alright, I'm James. I'm going for an electrical engineering major here at PCC. I took this class just really for an extra credit and because it sounded cool, and it was everything as good as cool. It has so much involved, like you get to build and engineer different parts and create all kinds of different crazy stuff to make these robots work. 3D print stuff, laser cut stuff, simply screw stuff together, make the electronics work, the graphic design. Overall, this class was not only the funnest class I've ever taken, but the most rewarding class because I have this cool robot up here doing all these cool things that we tell it to do. So it was an amazing class. I really enjoyed it.
My name is Will Patillo. I think my background would be best described as liberal arts, although I've been for the last year EET focused here. And this was a really great experience, especially in working with a team to make a bunch of things all come together at once, and also having lots and lots and lots of fallback plans for everything.
I'm Justin Carruthers in the microelectronics program. And what I loved about this was it was a fusion of art and engineering, the two things I love. And I had a lot of fun I did a lot of animation and some robotics, and I've never combined the two, which was different and new for me, and it was good.
Yeah, hi. My name is Manish Ejirios, and next fall I would be transferring to PSU for electrical engineering. I joined STEAM because someone suggested that there is such a program. It's a one-credit program where it involves a combination of engineering and arts. And I got to learn a ton of things. I mean, 3D printing, CNC laser cutting, and a lot of stuff. So I think it was worth that I spent the summer instead of, on vacation to spend 5 days here. It was awesome. Thank you.
I'm Nick. I was the ninja behind the mask, guiding Humpty Dumpty. I'm a biomed tech student here at PCC, and one of the great things I liked about it was just all the great people here, get to meet them. We built robots in 5 days, which is a possible deadline, but stressful nonetheless. Yeah, also just learning how to use all these tools available to us in this day and age, it was great.
I'm Gary Laird. I'm an art major. I'll be transferring to Merrillhurst in winter, and I took this class to learn like animatronics and robotics to be able to add that into my artwork. And yeah, it's should be like a 2-week class, but it's a 1-week class. We got it done, so.
Yeah, grounded out. And as promised, it would be grunt. Without Michael Krager, none of these robots would have taken place. Michael is my co-teacher in the art department doing sculpture, and it was really fun watching him kind of guide the students ever so gently.
Crack the whip.
That. So
time to go to plan C, time to go to plan D, H. Yeah. I had a great time working with such a wonderful group of students and people, and diverse backgrounds, diverse interests, diverse ways of working. I learned a lot from these guys, and I hope they had fun. I had a great time. I think one person we need to talk to, who again was instrumental in helping things come together. One of the many. I mean, Greg is a master at bringing people together from wide backgrounds to get stuff done. But Eric Thomas is a tech in the makerspace.
So my name's Eric. I'm a lab tech for the Makerspace, going for a mechanical engineering transfer degree. Hopefully transfer to PSU very shortly. What I'd actually like to do is bring up a student who'd like to say a couple things about someone I'm about to talk about next, and would they come up here? So there's someone who's been very helpful with classes, and I'll actually let this student talk about that. This is Russ.
Yeah, hi, my name is Russ Jones. I'm trying to do this just to embarrass this person as much as I possibly can, because our class is now over as far as he's concerned. He's our lab instructor for the digital electronics class this summer, and he spent a great deal of his time outside of the class helping us and opening up the lab to make it available to us. And this is just to express to him that we
Look for the red one.
This is Reg Holmes, and how he did all this with these people, but also for the last 2 weeks you did also before this?
Oh, I was teaching the electronics lab in for electronics 3. So it was putting together a lot of labs, making sure that the students were understanding the material that they were seeing in lecture. And
what about a wearable?
Oh, the wearable cam. Yeah.
Don't forget about
And what
that.
else?
Yeah.
So after those camps, he'd do is he'd go right to lab to set up for the students. So he was multitasking every day, doing several things at once.
Yeah, for the whole summer course. This is to show our appreciation for all of his efforts. To us, it's an $80 gift certificate to the Cheesecake Factory, so that he can finally. Now, there's a reason we thought, well, we could get him like a gift certificate at Fry's or Radio Shack, and then we get no cheesecake. Can't get too technical.
$80 worth of cheesecake.
So I guess I should probably say something. I do really, really appreciate all the students. It's what makes the job amazing. I've worked in industry for about 10 years, and I've always enjoyed the challenges that I faced. But this one term, Santa, she's one of the chair for the ET department, asked me to come and teach a class for him, and it was just this amazing experience. And so I kept volunteering to come back and teach more and more and more. And so I decided that I wanted to do this as a real job, not as just kind of playing around. I got inspired, not expired. But
No, that's for my students.
About 6 weeks out.
But I got inspired by teachers like Greg and Michael, just the way they were able to inspire other students, like these students, with, out of the box type of teaching methods that really engage them and force them to really change the way they view the situation so that it enables them to become self-learners. And so I'm really glad that I've had the opportunity and that apparently my students have enjoyed me as much as I've enjoyed them. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Questions?
Mark.
Okay, hi. I'm Mark Goodman. I'm the CIS instructor, and I've been working with Greg on these things for what, 3 years now?
Maybe four.
Yeah. Third Build-A-Bot and fourth Build-A-Bot. Okay. So it's been a hoot the whole time. It's been really fun watching it evolve over instance to instance. But I think the most important person to thank here is you, the members of our audience, for taking the time to come out over the summer term and to watch our little production. And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have anybody to do this for, and it wouldn't be nearly as much fun, and you wouldn't have a real deadline that we had to scramble to meet. So I'd like to thank you for that part, and also Greg for having me involved, because it's been a huge amount of fun. And now I'm going to go have